morning everybody, welcome down to HOSS tonight for round 7 of the Holden versus Ford series. 7, as I said, just the 5 drivers tonight: Blair Gabbardies, Braden Carroll, Ray Cotton, Dylan Dalrymple and Paul Latu. Paul Lancaster on the mic with you tonight, Billy Rowley behind the scenes. And no Brendan Nichols tonight. It's the 21st wedding anniversary for Brendan tonight, so no doubt that waterbed's going to get a bit of a tsunami action a little bit later on this evening. And no doubt Brendan will have his steak and chips for tea, which is normally 6 nights out of 7. So congratulations to them anyway. 21 years today, Brendan and Debbie. And yeah, they do still rock the old waterbed. So congratulations. No Brendan here tonight, but got qualifying underway for the 5 drivers: Blair Gabbardies and Braden Carroll. Obviously Braden Carroll's leading the championship at the moment, and we're at the Ruapuna track tonight, which has featured on quite a few occasions down here at HOSS. And that's Braden Carroll there in the 46 South Canterbury Tyres Centre Holden Commodore. And a big thanks to the South Canterbury Tyres Centre. Last week gave away some goodies down here, a few shirts and hoodies and the likes of, so much appreciated from the team at South Canterbury Toyota. Braden Carroll, and who's that spinning off in the background? I think that might be Blair Gabbardies in the Kmart car. But we should see times down around the 131s from Braden, the 31.9 in the practice. And it'll be pretty close to the rest of them. Blair Gabbardies second fastest during practice. And the other 3 pretty close. And Braden Carroll puts a wheel up on the ripple strip, ends up out in the grass. That's going through Link corner. And they come down to the Euromark hairpin. But Braden Carroll will be the man to watch, but you only got 2.5 minutes left in the session. And you've got to do a clean lap, which is pretty hard to do around here. Had a couple of laps around here just before, and very hard with the track limits during qualifying to try and put that clean lap together. Braden Carroll just coming around. He'll be just taking it nice and easy till he comes around to the last corner, which is the motorcycle sweeper. MG motorcycle sweeper, and head down onto the back straight. So Braden Carroll, championship leader by quite a way at the moment. And as he comes around the CMG motorcycle sweeper down onto the main straight here at Ruapuna, 3.3 kilometre track. Not the longest back straight in the world. It's sort of just really starting to wind it up in 4th gear, and then you're down to that very difficult braking zone at the end of the back straight. That long fast left, very easy to lock the fronts up, go straight ahead into the dirt. First one for the hot lap: Dylan Dalrymple a 33.6, Paul Latu a 34.3. Should see those times come down on the next lap. There's Latu there, he's in the roadways number 6 tonight. Loves his Holdens, does Paul Latu. Hopefully he's got the keys tucked away nicely in the pocket tonight. We got a bunch of keys hanging off those black Levi jeans. Get a wee bit uncomfy sitting there in the sim, depending on what one you're in. And tonight, Paul Latu is in one of the silvers. Pretty good. So at the moment, Dylan Dalrymple the fastest, and goes fastest in the first sector with 20 seconds on the clock. He should come round and be able to go through and start another one. Yellow in the first sector, green in the second. See what he does when he goes through this time. A 33.2, so he goes slightly quicker. Here comes Latu and Braden Carroll. Latu does a 33.3. 33.9, and Braden Carroll a 31.7. We've seen him do that tonight in practice. Ray Cotton there, come down the 05, just loves the number 05, he's got it tattooed all over his back. There's Ray Cotton. So 15-minute race, 4 of them tonight for these guys. It's the 5 drivers, so there's room next week if you guys want to come down and have a shot at it as well. Round 7 of 10 for the HOSS Championship of 26, and away we go. Good start off the front there by Braden Carroll. Good start from everybody, in fact, as they get underway down the main straight here at Ruapuna. Tyres will be cold in these big beasts. You see Dylan Dalrymple slotting into second there in the Vibin Racing Ford Falcon. Down into turn 1. Heading back up the West Coast Straight. And in through Link Corner. What a difficult wee corner this one to get right, not to run out wide in the grass. And then all the way down to Euromark Corner, which is the hairpin here. No signs of brake lock-up from anyone at the moment. Those brakes still cold, tyres still cold as they head back into the infield, into Fulton Hogan. Difficult wee right-left section. And into the carousel with a very long right-hander. Careful not to pick up the throttle too early through here. You can end up running wide or flicking it sideways. The wall's pretty close. And not much runoff there as they go back up through Park Towing S's. The difficult wee section, but Dylan Dalrymple there on screen, sitting second at the moment. Just a second or so back from Braden Carroll. Is going to come round and reel off lap number 1. Race 1 here tonight. He is the current series leader, and he gets a wheel out the grass and just kisses that wall. I don't know what the damage is tonight, Billy Rowley. 30% damage, so you might feel a wee bit in the wheel there, hitting the wall that hard. But still keeping it out in front by just under a second. Now Dalrymple coming under some pressure from the Kmart Commodore there of Blair Gabberty's. They head back up into the West Coast Straight. Through Link Corner and head down towards Euromark, which is the hairpin down here, down to first gear. Lots of understeer on the car. On board with Gabberty's now as we head back in the infield. Up to Fulton Hogan. This right-left combination closes right up under brakes. It just locks the right rear there, Gabberty's. Be quite patient through there. And you see just a bit of a drift going on there. Dalrymple takes quite a wide line in. Second up to third just briefly. And then back down to second. Take a bit of that inside curb. Also put a wheel out over this ripple strip, not too bad. And heading back up towards the CMG motorcycle sweeper. This is the last corner here at Ruapuna. So it's Braden Carroll out to 2 seconds from Dalrymple. Blair Gabberty's just 4 tenths behind. And then it's Paul Latu and Ray Cotton out the back. So it's going to be a good battle between these guys. Braden Carroll and Dylan Dalrymple, obviously Tier 2 champions. Oh, and he gets out in the grass, does Gabberty's. Ends up out in the kitty litter. And this should allow Latu to go through. Oh, and he's just about going to take Ray Cotton out in the 05 Marlborough's Commodore, but goes to the back of the pack. Just what it takes there, just out breaking yourself down into the first corner. The Braden Carroll on the number 46 South Canterbury Tyre Centre Holden Commodore. Up through Fulton Hogan. Nice and tidy from Braden, just taking a wee bit of curb there, just to try and help throw the rear of the car around. You get a lot of understeer with these cars when you're not on the power. You can use some of that ripple strip to try and throw the arse around a wee bit. Well, That's what you got to do. But looking pretty sharp at the moment. Braden Carroll out to 2.5 seconds back to Dylan Dalrymple, who's got another 2.5 seconds back to Paul Artu. Then Ray Cotton. And Gabbity's a lot of work to do from, well, he was running third, now running fifth. And getting on the back of Ray Cotton right now as they come into the CMG motorcycle sweeper. And onto the main straight. And 10 minutes left to go, so a third of the race done already. Yes, 15 minutes, we're probably looking at about 10, maybe 11 laps. And there goes Gabbity's. Wee bit better this time through the Abbott Insurance corner, which is turn 1. Then go up the West Coast straight. It's got that wee bit of a kink there, then into the Link corner. Very fast corner, that one. And then down to the hairpin. Euro mark corner. Still yet to get anywhere close enough to force any sort of move there, Blair Gabbity's. Pretty tight through the middle section, through Fulton Hogan here. And we go back up into the carousel. Ray Cotton with a wee bit of a slide there, sort of balks Gabbity's mid corner. Keeping it nice and tight though. Gabbity's might try and have a sneak up the inside as they go into Park Towing S's. Still no way through. We go around the outside this time though. Oh, a bit of a touch between the two of them. He might be able to gather it up. No, round he goes. And tried to go around the outside there. And just got a bit of a clip from Ray Cotton. Braden Carroll sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:31.7. 4.5 seconds back to Dalrymple now, who's all on his own there in second. There he is there, the Vibin Detailing Falcon. He's been driving all competition. Up the West Coast straight they go. And Paul Artu not too far back now as Dylan Dalrymple gets out in the grass, gets a wee bit out of shape. He's going to lose a bit of time there. Artu not close enough to put any pressure on though as they come into the Euromark corner. And it gathers it up and heading on up through the Fulton Hogan through the right-left combination. So Braden Carroll out to 6 seconds already. Now race leader halfway through. Artu taking the big wide line there in the Roadways Commodore. Pretty tidy though. Artu using all the track. Bit of the runoff area there. And up through the CMG motorcycle corner. Come round to reel off another one here at Ruapuna. Sitting there in third place, Paul Artu. Big gap way back to Ray Cotton. Here is Ray Cotton in the background just coming onto the back straight. And Blair Gabbity's 5 seconds further back down the pack from Ray Cotton. So Ray's been doing a pretty good job the last couple of rounds. He's not one of the guys you'll see here all the time. And not the fastest by any stretch of the imagination, but has been very consistent. At the moment, sitting there in fourth, will collect some good points for the championship. 3 rounds left to go after this one. 10 round series, of course, you can drop 3 rounds. And unfortunately tonight's the 4th round for me that I will miss, so it's pretty much my championship aspirations down the gurgler, thanks to Brendan Nichols, is probably tucking into a big juicy steak right now that Debbie's probably been slaving over, and getting a bit of sustenance for what's to come later on. 6.5 seconds to gap. Braden Carroll looking nice and tidy there in the Holden Commodore. look in the background there, there's Dylan Dalrymple just coming through the last corner. He's first, second and third on the screen. And saying that, Braden Carroll doesn't want to have a big off either, because that'll let Dylan Dalrymple, who's getting quicker and quicker with each lap, had a bit of trouble putting together a fast lap during practice here this evening, or pre-qualifying. But looking pretty sharp at the moment in the Vibin detailing Falcon. The old brakes are glowing that, even when he's on the straight, the old brakes are glowing, rotors are glowing a fair bit. Nice and tidy out of the Euromark corner. You can still see Braden Carroll up in front, who's just got another second or so quicker, 7.3 seconds to gap first to second. And just 2 and a bit now, Dalrymple to Latu. And Blair Gabbity's slowly reeling in Ray Cotton back there in 4th place. After his lap 2 exit off the end of the front straight there at turn 1. When he was running 3rd, so really got it all to do once again. Blair Gabbity's, he's in the Platinum Sim tonight, which is the motion simulator, triple screen, and Braden Carroll, he's in the Gold Triple, which is also triple screen. Ray Cotton in the other gold one there, which they call the VR unit, which is actually not a bad unit. And then the couple of silvers here, Dylan Dalrymple in the silver one, and Latu in the silver 2. So 3 spare sims there if anyone wants to come down and have a shot in the last couple of races. Sure we could fit you in somewhere. With 3 minutes 30 left on the clock for Braden Carroll. 8.5 seconds now the lead. Oh, there he goes. That's Ray Cotton, the 05, getting all out of shape. He's thinking he's at his mates on a Saturday night doing a bit of a burnout down McDonald Street, but it's allowed Gabbity's to get through. In fact, must have been quite a good one from Ray Cotton. He's 10 seconds further back from Gabbity's. He's had quite a big one. Here goes Latu. Nice and tidy in that Alan Grice Roadways Commodore. Comes up into the S's. Keeping it tidy. When it wants to bank some good points, does Latu. I think he's sitting about 4th in the championship. But really, Braden Carroll will probably get away with not doing the last couple of rounds and probably still have enough points to take it out. 2 minutes 20 to go as Latu comes across. Big gap back to Gabbity's, who's just coming onto the back straight. Down into Abbott. There goes Gabbity's there. And Ray Cotton a long way back now. Number 8, Kmart Commodore. Normally see the number 51 on that, don't we, with Greg Murphy? Tonight it's got Blair Gabbity's behind the wheel. Sitting there in 4th, he's 7 seconds behind Latu with a minute and a half left on the clock. Braden Carroll out to 8 seconds. Doing it nice and easy at the moment. There he is there, the South Canterbury Tyre Centre Commodore. Sponsored also by Cooper Tyres. Just getting a wheel out in the grass there. Traditionally we see Braden Carroll likes throwing the thing round sideways, but I haven't seen much of that tonight. Just keeping it nice and steady. As he comes down with a minute left to go, so we'll get this lap in plus probably one more. Maybe this might be the last lap. In the background there you'll see Dalrymple 11 seconds further back. 9 seconds as he comes across the line. Another 5 seconds back to Latu. So the well's spread out now. Comes up the Waistcoast Straight into the Link ECU corner, which is that very fast corner, and down to Euromark. Euromark, obviously these sponsors of the hairpin, but also the track sponsor as well, Euromark Motorsport Park, as they call it. Bit of a mouthful. Here is race leader into Fulton Hogan. Nice and tidy stuff from Braden Carroll. Through the carousel. Head up to the Park Towing S's. Down to second. Nice wee slide into the right hander there. Not taking any gambles at all, Braden Carroll. 9.2 seconds the gap first to second. So should be finish line this time for Braden Carroll as he comes down across the stripe. Take the race win. Great stuff from Braden Carroll. Notches up another win. Dalrymple will come through for second. 6.7 seconds behind in the end. And then Latu banking some good points in the Roadways Commodore. On a bit of a show, Braden Carroll, after the fact. Gabbies will come through for fourth. And the last man across the line will be Ray Cotton in the 05 Commodore. That's great stuff from the 5 drivers tonight. So we'll reverse them up again, give them another 15 minutes. It'll be Ray Cotton and Blair Gabbies off the front row. Paul Latu, Dylan Dalrymple and Braden Carroll off the back. We'll just see how long it takes them to get to the front. Should work in Blair Gabbies' hands though, starting off the front row. You've got Ray Cotton there on the screen. Latu tucked in behind him. Away we go. Bit of a slow start from the two of them. As they get the power down, you can see Braden Carroll already side by side with the Latu on the second row there. Gabbies comes across middle of the track. You could see that Gabbies was coming up behind him, but it's going to be Gabbies leads him into the turn one for the first time. Then Ray Cotton out braking himself and just about took Braden Carroll out, and Latu having a bit of a lose there too under brakes. And already Braden Carroll up to second, tucked in behind Blair Gabbies. And Dylan Dalrymple just a couple of wheels out in the grass in the big Falcon. Already Braden Carroll having a wee look up the inside. Gabbies comes across and tries to close the door on him when he was already side by side with him. But they get underway again, and in the meantime Dalrymple's managed to sneak the big coon up the inside up to second place. Great stuff from Dylan Dalrymple, seeing what was happening there. Bit of a coming together from the two Commodore drivers. But I don't think Braden Carroll will be panicking too much. Only the first lap. Won't take him too long to get to the front, I wouldn't imagine. And the question will be, can Blair Gabbies keep it out in front? We know he's a bit of a rear vision mirror looker, and can forget whereabouts he is on the track. And here goes up the inside already, Braden Carroll on Dylan Dalrymple, up to second, down across the stripe for the first time. It is Gabbies that leads from Carroll. Dalrymple right on the bumper. The two Commodore drivers at the back having a bit of a battle amongst themselves. That's Paul Latu and Ray Cotton down into the Abbott corner. Gabbies still leads from Carroll. Dalrymple still there though, keeping the pressure on. They come up the Waistcoast Straight into the ECU corner. Up a short wee straight and hard on the brakes down to first gear. And that was Gabbies. Cooked it himself. He outbraked himself. He didn't have any pressure on from behind. And we were just saying that he should have just had the eyes forward. Not worry too much about what was going on behind. He still had a bit of a gap with these two guys in behind me. fighting each other. And now Braden Carroll finds himself out in front. Dylan Dalrymple, second place. Gabbity's got a bit of a job now to catch up to these two in front. And Latu's managed to get in front of Cotton. A couple of seconds further back. Down to the CMG motorcycle corner. What can Dalrymple do? He's pretty close at the moment. Come round and complete lap number 2. Here's Gabbity's Latu in the background there. And Braden Carroll, he's not quite a second between these first two guys. Hard on the picks into Abbott. Then up the West Coast straight. Bit of a kink in it. And through ECU link corner. Back up the straight again. Don't want to put her out too wide there and get out in the grass. Through Euro Mark corner. On the run back into the infield there. First sections here's Fulton Hogan, the right-left combination. Looking pretty tidy so far, Braden Carroll. Just eked it out to 2 seconds now. He's picked a second and a half up in the last half a lap. Just concentrating on those braking points and making sure that all 4 wheels still on the tarmac. Third, back down to second. Nice wee slide into the corner. That inside curb. Looking pretty sharp at the moment, Braden Carroll. He's picked off another half a second before they can even get up to the CMG motorcycle corner, which is the last left-hander to come round onto the back straight or the front straight, whichever way you want to look at it. As I say, not the longest straight. And out of any New Zealand tracks, I think Levels has actually got a longer back straight than what Ruapuna has. But now Dalrymple's starting to come under some pressure from Gabbity's in the Kmart Commodore. Second and third. Through ECU they go. Just found a bit of the inside curve there, Dylan Dalrymple. Just introduced a wee bit of understeer there on the big Falcon. The Vibin detailing Falcon. On the run back up to Fulton Hogan. Braden Carroll now out to 3.5 seconds out in front. I don't know who's setting the fastest lap at the moment, because it doesn't seem to be showing up on the screen. No doubt it's probably Braden Carroll though, down in the mid 31s. Dalrymple got that big wide mirror full of Kmart Commodore of Blair Gabbity's. Probably the closest he's been, Gabbity's. Takes all the wide track, trying to get side by side with them. There goes the fastest lap, 31.8, Braden Carroll. And Gabbity's looking a wee bit racy now as they come down into Abbott. Quite a wide Falcon though to try and get through that section. So head up through Waistco. On board with Dalrymple, looking out the back at Gabbity's, coming up to ECU corner. Got to be careful there not to get out in the grass too much, and then hard on the brakes down here, down to second, down to first gear. Through Euro Mark hairpin. You run back up into the infield. No way through for Gabbity's at the moment. The old Falcon sounds pretty good through the speaker system down here. There's a distinct note between the two cars. And look at Gabbity's having a wee dive up the inside as Dalrymple goes wide. Just still got his nose in front as they come out of the S's. Head up to the Parks S's. Managed to keep his nose in front though, but Gabby's looking pretty racy, taking lots of the inside curb there. And the number 8 car there was Gabby's, just about had all 4 wheels out there. Down this CMG motorcycle corner. Yeah, we'll come down to reel off another one. Just over halfway through the race, a 31.7 now from Braden Carroll. Keeping it there or thereabouts. Out to 5-second lead now. Back to Dalrymple. Dalrymple's just cleared out a wee bit. Back to Gabbity's. Headed out to just about a second. Gabbity's still there though. Another 8 seconds back to Latu. There he is in the background. The Roadways Commodore. This is where the battle is though. This is for second place. Dalrymple win the Falcon. Gabbity's in the Kmart Commodore. Out of Euromark hairpin. Back up the straight into Fulton Hogan. Still 6 minutes left, so plenty of time for Gabbity's to try and line him up somewhere. Quite a wide Falcon there, Dylan Dalrymple. Of course, Dalrymple's a former Tier 2 champ from last year. So he's no slug, that's for sure. Wee bit of sideways movement there from the Kmart Commodore as they get the power down. Down the second gear. Through CMG motorcycle corner. Come back down onto the back straight. Just a half a second between these two. Now Dalrymple doing a good job putting the car in the right spot and making it quite hard for Gabbity's to have a look up the inside. Back up the West Coast straight, heading up to ECU corner. Along the next wee straight, get hard down to second, down to first gear. And get the thing around there nicely and get the power down second, up to third just briefly, then back down to second. And through Fulton Hogan. Not letting Carroll get away by any stretch of the imagination. He just got 5 seconds in front. Braden Carroll. Oh, Dalrymple just getting a wheel up on that ripple strip on the exit there. Yeah, he just managed to hang on to the big Falcon. Just would have lost a little bit of time there, no doubt. And the Kmart Commodore there, Gabbity, still doing a good job of just keeping the pressure on, trying to force that mistake on Dalrymple. 4.8 seconds the gap now, so just starting to pull a couple of tenths in these two. Have a look in the background, you might see Latu come around the corner, but there he is there, just coming through the CMG motorcycle last corner. Almost a whole straight between Gabbity's and Latu. And Cotton at the back of the pack there in the 05. Ooh, getting a wee bit out of shape there, Dylan Dalrymple. He just outbraked himself and through goes Gabbity's. That's what he was waiting on. Putting the pressure on. And he just put a wheel up on the ripple strip, which just threw him sideways momentarily, Dalrymple, and coming in through the ECU link corner. And through goes Gabbity's up to second. The question is, with 3 minutes left on the clock, can Gabbity's keep it there? Can Dalrymple get on the back of him and put some pressure on him? A bit of a fuck's sake coming from Latu over the back there. Having a bit of trouble. And Ray Cotton's managed to catch right up on the back of him. Just a couple of seconds now between those two at the back. Gabbity's now in second. Braden Carroll, the man out in front though, 6.7 seconds. Doing it easy. the gap now from second to third. So Gabbity's just dropping Dalrymple by a couple of seconds now. But only got to outbrake yourself. Especially in a turn one, it's quite easily to do that. You can head back up the West Coast straight. This is where Dalrymple, his downfall was from the lap previous. He went out in the grass, he's done it again. Getting a wee bit out of shape again, we'll lose another second or so. Ooh, and Gabbity's just a bit of understeer there. Managed to keep it on the island. 2.6 seconds the gap first to second. Second to third, I should say. But there's the race leader. Braden Carroll in the South Canterbury Tyre Centre. Number 46 looking for a race win, number 2 for the night. In fact, he's probably cleaned up quite a few wins in the championship. Certainly has got a huge lead in the points at this stage anyway, with 3 more rounds to go after this one. Round through CMG motorcycle corner. A minute left on the clock, so get the last lap board this time. On board with him now as they head down the straight, Braden Carroll. See whereabouts he brakes as he comes down in this very tricky braking corner with the left-hander there. You can see a lot of stripes there on the ground where people have been locking the brakes up. Using every wee bit of track there as he heads up through the West Coast straight and up to this other wee difficult section here, ECU corner. Just clips the inside there, gets a couple of wheels out in the grass, but he's managed to button out of it and keep her on the track into Euro Mark hairpin. Wee bit of oversteer there as he comes out and heading up into the Fulton Hogan S's here. That's the right hander, pretty gentle on the throttle through here. Not much of a run off there. Keep her in second, patient through here and get around to you can see some of that ripple strip. Second up to third gear momentarily, 100 metre board, then down to second, put a wheel over the inside there. Same here, put the left over there, throw it around the corner a wee bit and just stays off those tyres, does Braden Carroll. Pretty good stuff. He heads into the CMG motorcycle corner for the last time. Checkered flag is out for him. It'll be another win for the South Canterbury Tyre Centre Holden Commodore. And we'll do it easy enough. Congratulations, Braden Carroll started off the back. Fastest lap of the race also, and Blair Gabbity's will come through for second in the end. And Dalrymple in the Falcon will come through as well. Looks like Paul Artu there in the Roadways Commodore. And then Ray Cotton there in the 05. Drifting action there from Braden Carroll. We do know he likes going sideways. So that's great stuff. That's half time for the racing tonight. So Braden Carroll from Blair Gabbity's, Dylan Dalrymple, Latu and Cotton rounds out the 5 drivers. Take a short break and we'll be back down here shortly at HOSS for the second half of the evening. Welcome back down to HOSS for the second half of the evening. A couple of races to go. Paul Lancaster with you, and Billy Rowley on the computer tonight. The Gabbities, Braden Carroll, Ray Cotton, Dylan Dalrymple and Paul R2, the 5-star drivers tonight. And 5-minute qualifying to set the grid for race number 3. Here's the Cooper Tyres, South Canterbury Tyre Centre, Holden Commodore of Braden Carroll. 2 from 2 tonight for the Cooper Tyres car. Coming to you from Ruapuna Raceway in Christchurch, 3.3 kilometre track. And Braden Carroll, the car on screen, he's been the man to beat all championship long. Dylan Dalrymple just about spins out, going to come out of the Euromark hairpin. Take it a lap or two to get the heat into these big gumdrops on these cars. 12-inch slick tyres, reminiscent of the late 80s with the Commodore and Falcon. So just the one Falcon tonight. Dylan Dalrymple flying the Ford flag versus 4 Commodores. There he is there in the Vibrant Detailing Falcon. Had a good battle in the race 2 tonight with Blair Gabbities, and just outdone himself going through the link corner. He ended up out in the grass, allowed Gabbities through. So probably a couple of hot laps for them in qualifying. Braden Carroll though should be looking pretty sharp for a mid 31, perhaps high 31. Been the only one in the 31s all night. Purple first sector for Braden Carroll at 29.1 as he heads back into the infield up to Fulton Hogan. They can be quite high, some of those ripple strips there. They can unseal the car quite nicely, so you don't want to get too carried away. You're putting too much up on top of them. So 2 minutes left in qualifying. They'll get this lap and they'll get one more. Is what they'll get. 2 purple sectors for Braden Carroll. Couple of wheels right out hard on the edge of the grass there as he comes up to Gabbities. Gabbities gets out of his way. Don't want to get in the way and ruin someone's hot lap. He's going to come down now. What does he do? Braden Carroll, a 31.5. It's the fastest lap time we've seen all night. Jumps to the top. Paul R2, a 32.9. Dylan Dalrymple, a 32.97. And Blair Gabbities, a 1:34. Ray Cotton yet to post a time. With a minute 20 left on the clock. We'll get this lap in now, and that will be about it. Here goes Dalrymple. See, the old brakes have been glowing all night on the big Falcon. Even on the straights. Out of the Euromark hairpin, back up to the infield. Up to Fulton Hogan. Green first sector for Dylan Dalrymple. He'll want to get in front of Latu. Latu in the roadways Commodore tonight. Throws it in sideways, the big Falcon. He will lose a bit of time there, even though he's gone green. And the middle sector as well. A bit of oversteer coming through there. Still be on for a good time though, Dylan Dalrymple. Braden Carroll comes down. He won't go any faster. 32.2 this time. And what does Dalrymple do? Well, he must have lost a fair bit of time there because he didn't go any faster than the 32.9. He had a couple of green sectors up. And Braden, oh, that's Blair Gabbity's getting all out of shape. Yeah, second fastest for Gabbity's on that last lap, 32.7. A lot of understeer through the Link ECU corner there for Dalrymple and the Big Falcon. 31.5 is the time to beat. Look, it's starting to look a wee bit ragged on this lap. There's Braden Carroll throwing her in, getting a bit of a slide going on. He's quite at home throwing things sideways as Braden Carroll. May not be the fastest way round, but certainly puts on a good show. And through the Parks S's, oh, he might have a bit of a lose there, as he'll come round to do his last time. To Dalrymple, what can he do? He's down there in fourth at the moment. He won't be too happy with that, especially if he's got the likes of Latu and Gabbity's in front. Getting a wee bit out of shape trying to get the power down in the Big Falcon. Here he comes down across the line. Does he go any faster? No, he doesn't. Latu doesn't go any quicker either, but this is the way it's going to be. Braden Carroll, Blair Gabbity's, Paul Latu. Good starting from him in front of Dylan Dalrymple, then Ray Cotton. Not much between them. Another 15-minute race. Race 3, round 7 for the HOSS Winter Championship. From Ruapuna, waiting on the fourth light to go out. And away we go. Everyone off to a pretty good start there. As they head down the main straight. Carroll with his nose in front with the inside line. Here comes Dalrymple trying to get it through on Latu, which I think he has. Latu thought might have had a wee sniff up the inside there, but sitting back there in fourth place. Dalrymple's gained a spot as they head up the West Coast straight into the Link ECU corner. Along the straight again. And hard on the picks down to first gear. Oh, we've been understeer there, creeping in for Gabbity's. Might open the door up for Dalrymple as they head back up the straight towards Hilton Hogan. Still got his nose in front and the inside line there for Gabbity's. Here comes the Big Falcon though. Try and get side by side with him around the left-hander and have the run into the next corner. And got the passing move done, Dylan Dalrymple. Great passing move round the outside of Gabbity's. And Latu there having a wee bit of a sniff as well as they head up to the Parks towing S's. The right-left combination. It's status quo out in front. Braden Carroll. Dylan Dalrymple's gone up a couple of spots, started fourth, up to second. And hopefully Latu can get in, buy in on this battle. Would make it quite a good wee tussle between these three. Latu's a long time campaigner down here at HOSS. And he's another one of these Holden lovers, but like Ray Cotton at the back there. Sleeps in his Holden socks and jocks every night as Gabbity's just about locks up into the back of Dalrymple. Manages to keep it on the straight though, up the West Coast straight into the ECU Link corner. Latu's still there. Pretty close. And not too far behind Ray Cotton. A wee bit further back in the 05. Through the Euromark hairpin. So Braden Carroll, he's certainly not running away at the moment. 1.3 is the gap first to second. Busy man at the moment will be Gabbity's, and there in third place he's got Latu having a wee sniffing behind. Round through the carousel. Heading up the wee straight, second up to third gear just for a few seconds, then back to second. And through the Parks towing S's. And then hard up the straight again. into the CMG motorcycle corner. Last corner of the track. Long corner. Important to get the speed right onto the entry of the back straight. They're just 1.5 seconds first to second at the moment. Then they're starting to just eke out a wee bit. Second further back to Gabbity's. Latu's still in the mix. And Cotton at the back there, 4 seconds off the back of Paul Latu. Just the 5 drivers tonight. So if you do want to get involved in it, make sure you come down next Wednesday night. Oh, Ray Cotton having a bit of a spin. Just about taking someone out there in the braking zone. Here a few of them getting a wee bit upset. We take their racing seriously, some of these guys. At the moment though, Gabbity's in the sandwich. He's in behind Dalrymple in the Vibin detailing Falcon. There's Dalrymple there, the lone Ford Falcon tonight. Sitting there just a second and a half back from Braden Carroll. Looking to make it 3 out of 3 Braden Carroll tonight. Maybe get the old 4-peat in. Wee bit oversteer in the braking zone there from Dylan Dalrymple. Yeah, but he's still chasing hard, just half a second further back. Lahu just starting to fall back a wee bit, 1.3. In the Roadways Commodore. Just takes one mistake though. Still got 9.5 minutes left of concentration. Looking in the mirror. Looking at the lines in front. Bit of a balancing act now as you see Dylan Dalrymple just running a wee bit wide under that first corner of Fulton Hogan. Blair Gabbity's closed right up, just within a car length of the big Falcon. Out of the carousel, heading back up to the Parks Towing S's. Second gear, right left hand corner. Oh, just see Gabbity's closed up there on the exit of that corner, but then got a wee bit out of shape. Plucked a couple of wheels up on the inside. And we would oversteer to contend with, back through the CMG motorcycle corner and onto the back straight here at Ruapuna. Fastest step of the race, Braden Carroll, 32.04. Still a wee way off the 31.5 he set in the race previous. Through Abbott they go. Up through Waistcoat. And into ECE Link corner. It was the undoing that corner there of Dylan Dalrymple in the race previous. Allowed Gabbity's to get through. And Gabbity's would just be biding his time and hoping he does the same thing again. Allowing up through the middle. Latu though still hanging in there though. Here or thereabouts. Like to get on the podium, I would say, Paul Latu. Out of the carousel. 1.8 seconds the gap, first to second. The closest we've seen anyone to Braden Carroll, about halfway distance. Here's Gabbity's. Here's the race leader, the South Canterbury Tyre Centre, Cooper Tyres, number 46, Holden Commodore. See if he does another fastest lap this time as he comes through. Braden Carroll. Hard on the brakes, down into Abbott. throws the rear in. So does Dalrymple. Was just getting a wee bit out of shape there as well as he disappeared off the radar, but still sitting there in second place. Lost a bit of time now. Back to Braden Carroll. It was 1.8, which jumped out to 2.3 within a corner. And now Gabbity's right on the back bumper of that Vibin detailing Falcon as they head back into the infield into Fulton Hogan. Pretty patient through here on the accelerator. Light the old airbags up in the back pretty quick. Latu though, just a couple of seconds back off these two guys. Around about a second between Gabbity's and Dalrymple. Great stuff so far from these guys, nice and tidy. Down the back straight they go again. 3.3 kilometre circuit here at Ruapuna. Of course they can run in all sorts of different configurations with this track. I remember racing up there back in the late 80s as we see Latu there going off the track down at Abbott. And we'll lose a fair bit of time. Lost about 5 odd seconds. But I remember racing back there when the hairpin used to be there at the end of the back straight. There's a big concrete inside wall, and then we also used the dipper back in those days. It's back in the pre-65 days, 1986, 87, 88. Did 3 seasons in the pre-65s. But the track has changed a lot since then. No dipper in there anymore. Well, it is available as a configuration. A dipper. And of course, the V8 Supercars racing there this year is also. So Braden Carroll, he was 2.3 out in front. Now it's down to about 1.8 again. Dylan Dalrymple still doing a good job in second place. He hasn't made any sort of mistake, and you'll see no sign of Latu in the background there. Oh, there he is there. And the Roadways Commodore, a long way further back after having that off right at this point here on the last lap. Through Abbott, or turn 1, then up the West Coast straight. It's got that wee right hand kink, and then into the SCU link corner. Along another wee straight and hard on the picks, down the second, down the first. Just locks the rear axle up there, does Dylan Dalrymple. Still around that 1.6 second gap, so they're slowly reeling Braden Carroll in, who's probably just toying with them at this stage, with 3 minutes left on the clock. Gabbity's in third place, just waiting for something to happen. Waiting for Dalrymple to have a bit of a brain fade. And through the Parks towing S as they go. 1.5 seconds to get first to second, another half a second to Gabbity's. Latu a long way back now after that one off. This is where the action's at. These top 3. Dalrymple getting a wee bit out of shape, trying to get the power down. Perhaps Gabbity's might have a bit of a run down the back straight this time. Fastest lap of the race, Blair Gabbity's a 31.9. Fastest lap we've seen from Blair all night. Down the braking zone. Looking pretty racy, the two of them. Gabbity's now starting to put a bit of pressure on with 2 minutes left. Up the West Coast straight into the link. Left hand up. And hard on the picks. Down to first gear. Giving a nice tight inside line. Dylan Dalrymple making that a very wide Falcon. To head back up into Fulton Hogan. Right-left combination. Looking pretty good through there, Dalrymple. In the meantime, that gap from first to second's just got back out to 2 seconds again. So it's all a matter of who can keep it together, who doesn't have a bit of a brain fade. Into the CMG motorcycle corner, the last turn on the track. Big long left hander, get onto the power nice and early if you can. Get a good run down the straight. Braden Carroll though goes through with a minute left, so it's obviously the last lap. Gabby's has got to do it all this time. Not close enough to force any sort of move down here into Abbott. Going to try and go around the outside again as he is. Dalrymple's quite cautious there in the braking zone. Allows Gabbity's to close back up again within half a second through the ECU link corner. Looking pretty tidy though from Dalrymple. Quite a wide rear end on that Falcon. Gabbity's trying to force him into some sort of mistake with half a lap left to go. Time is just about up. Checkered flag is coming out. Braden Carroll now out to just about 3 seconds. Oh, Gabbity's getting a wee bit of a slide on now as he gets a wee bit eager on the accelerator. Just lost a couple of 3 car lengths there, which has worked in Dalrymple's hands. There is the race leader. South Canterbury Tyres Centre, Cooper Tyres, Holden Commodore, Braden Carroll. Round through CMG motorcycle corner he goes. And we'll come down and get the checkered flag to take 3 from 3 tonight from Braden Carroll. Great stuff, maximum points for the championship leader. Takes the fastest lap as well, 31.9. Dalrymple will take second place. And Gabbity's will come through for third. Right hard did Gabbity's, but Dalrymple a composed drive there. And he was complaining about a wee bit of cramp earlier on. I just see him jump out of the sun. He's still got a bit of cramp going on there, Dylan Dalrymple. And Ray Cotton will be the last man across the line there in the 05. Just got to mention the word 05 or the HTT, and the old eyes glaze over there for Ray Cotton. Just loves these Holden Commodores. So he's going to start off the front. The HDT Marlborough Commodore there. Latu beside him. It's the 2 good mates here on the front row. Gabbity's, Dalrymple and Braden Carroll off the back. Race 4, round 7 for the HOSS Winter Championship. Away we go. Bit of a trouble getting off the line there for Ray Cotton. That's allowed the Gabbity's to get up beside him. It's going to be Latu that gets the jump down towards Abbott for the first time. Carroll's already worked his way up to third, and Dalrymple finds himself at the back of the pack there with Ray Cotton just sneaking up the inside as they head back up the straight for lap 1. The West Coast straight into the ECU corner. It's going to be Latu, and the Roadways Commodore leads from Gabbity's. Then the Carroll up the wee straight. Dalrymple's going to have a wee sniff in the background there in the Falcon and try and get up the inside of Ray Cotton. Cotton comes across on him, which he had every right to. He was 3/4 away in front. He hangs on to that 4th place. Up through Fulton Hogan we go. Latu takes a lot of the inside curb there. Loses a wee bit of speed. Gabbity's having a wee bit of a look around the outside. Still no way through. And here goes Latu. What can Gabbity's do now as they head back up towards Park S's? Latu comes across the middle of the track. Gabbity's have a wee look up the inside, but Latu's still got that faster line around the outside and will lead them out. Braden Carroll getting a wee bit sideways. The 3 Commodores heading up to the penultimate corner. Gabbity's will try and get the move done up the inside. to complete lap 1. Ray Cotton giving Braden Carroll a bit of a how's your mother from behind, and they all managed to stay online to come across and complete lap number 1. Blair Gabbity's Paul Latu. He goes Braden Carroll, pulls out and has a wee bit of a look halfway down the straight through the wee left-hand kink into Abbott. And looks like he's got the passing move done there. Braden Carroll's up to second already for the South Canterbury Tyres Centre Cooper Tyres Holden Commodore. And Latu finds himself back there in third place. Ray Cotton still doing a good job hanging on to fourth place, keeping Dylan Dalrymple in behind. In the 05 Holden Commodore comes across defensive in the middle of the track and will probably outbrake himself a wee bit. Opens up the door for the Falcon, and Dalrymple gets the job done up to fourth place. So Ray Cotton there just a bit guilty looking in the mirrors. As now we've got a battle on our hands now with Braden Carroll. He wants 4 wins from 4 for the evening as they come round into the carousel. It's Gabbies that leads from Braden Carroll. Paul Latu still hanging in there in the Roadways Commodore. Then Dalrymple. So we're in for a bit of a banger in the last race here tonight. And we'll see what Braden Carroll can do from there. I know Gabbies would like to get a race win under his belt. If he can just keep the eyes forward, not have a good look in the old rear vision mirrors now as Braden Carroll tries to get side by side with him through the CMG motorcycle corner onto the back straight. But Gabbidy should have the run in the inside line. And Braden Carroll might do the old up and under. Gabbity's opens the door up for him, and it's going to be side by side the two of them as they come down into Abbott. Might have been a touch between the two of them, but he left the door open, did Blair Gabbity's. He should have defended a bit more down the front straight, and Braden Carroll did the old switcheroo and up the inside in the number 46 Commodore. He gets the job done. Dylan Dalrymple getting a wee bit out of shape in the Falcon there in fourth spot. Down the Euromark hairpin. Get the power down in the big beast. Up into Fulton Hogan. So can Gabbity's stay on the back of Braden Carroll? Like to think so. I'd like to see a good race for the last one of the night. Latu once again sitting here in third place. He's going to have Dalrymple all over the back of him very shortly. So they come out of the Park Cesars. And up another one of the wee straights. Down to second. I know Gabbity's is quite a competitive fellow. He's going to be wanting to be steering right in that bumper of the number 46 Commodore. Just a second between the two of them. Now there's the battle there for third and fourth. Latu's starting to come under some pressure from Dalrymple and the big Falcon. Latu's a pretty hard charger though. So make it hard for Dalrymple to get through as they come through the ECE link corner. Longly straight again. Ray Cotton in the background in the 05. Out of the Euromark hairpin. So we've got a couple of two-car battles going on at the moment. Carroll and Gabbity's out in front, and these two here, Latu and Dalrymple. Quite a wide Holden Commodore, that one of Latu. Dalrymple just starting to look like maybe he might want to just have a wee sniff somewhere. Up towards CMG motorcycle corner. Latu not putting a foot wrong at the moment. Looking pretty good. Braden Carroll fastest lap of the race at 31.6. So he's really got the bit between the teeth now, but Blair Gabbity's only a second and a half further back. Dylan Dalrymple just having a wee look there on Latu, just pulled out, let him know that he's there and that he might want to have a decent attack. And Latu see if he can keep it together. Now a bit of an F-bomb coming from Dylan Dalrymple, getting a wee bit out of shape there. Through ECU link corner. He's lost a couple of car lengths on Latu. There's the race leader though, just a second between himself and Gabbity's. Gabbity's be trying hard. And the VK Commodore just halfway through the race, so if we keep it there or thereabouts, he's not looking too bad. Blair Gabbity's trying to force Carroll into some sort of mistake. It's not often you see Carroll make a mistake though. Battle still continuing here for third and fourth. Paul Latu in the number 6. Dylan Dalrymple in the big Falcon. Open detailing Falcon. Onto the back straight again. Ray Cotton not too far back there, another 4 seconds further back. Someone who doesn't do a hell of a lot of racing down here. He's here or thereabouts behind these more seasoned guys. And nonetheless, he's going to finish 5th and still bag some good points in the championship. Latu still looking solid there in third. Only 2.5 odd seconds back from Blair Gabbity's. There's a head up to Fulton Hogan. So just to let you know that Brendan Nichols here tonight. It's the 21st wedding anniversary today, so make sure you flick him a message. He may not get it, he's probably tucked up in the waterbed by now. Probably one of the only ones I know that still sleeps in the waterbed is the Nicholses. And no doubt probably be a bit of a tsunami going on in that thing tonight. Celebrating 21 years of marriage. So Brendan might not have too much energy tomorrow down at the ACC offices as we see Dalrymple up the inside of Latu. There's a Braden Carroll, that's the fastest lap of the night of 31.2. But Latu's managed to get his nose back in front. What can Dalrymple do from here? Here's a wee looker in the outside to come across, have a wee dial up the inside down the braking zone. But he had to pull back in. He was going to make it pretty difficult for himself to try and get through Abbott. Otherwise, and out in front now, Braden Carroll's just about double that lead he had. It's now 2 seconds, 3 seconds and climbing. So it looks like Gabbity's may have had a moment somewhere all on his own. And in fact, these two guys aren't too far off the back of Gabbity's now. As Dalrymple still over the back of Latu. Into Fulton Hogan they go. Clicks a lot of the inside curb there, which gets the car out of shape, but he's got the preferred line in through the carousel here. You see Dalrymple going wide, trying to get a quick run up the straight here and into the park towing S's. Latu still hanging on in the roadways. Commodore start to look a wee bit ragged though now as Dalrymple might have a wee run up the inside now as they come up to the CMG motorcycle corner. And it looks like he's got the job done unless Latu can do the old switcheroo and come back up the inside, which looks like he's going to try and do. It's going to be a good drag down the back straight, but Dalrymple gets the old hole shot out in front and it goes up to third place. So chopping and changing these two a little bit. In the end, a good passing move from Dylan Dalrymple. Can he keep it there with just under 4 minutes left to go in race 4? Braden Carroll looking to make it 4 from 4 for the night. Latu back down to 4th, and in the background there, old Ray Mate Cotton is in 5th place, just 5 seconds further back. Still a tidy effort from him. It looks to me like Gabbity's has given up the ghost a bit. 3 minutes left. He's 3.5 seconds further back from Braden Carroll. Here goes Ray Cotton in the 05. Of course, he has won races here before, Ray Cotton. I think earlier on we had the Super Trucks racing at Levels. He took a race out, race winning the Super Trucks. He's a truck driver by trade, so no doubt all his workmates got a bit of a hammering about his night's performance. There's the race leader, it's Braden Carroll. Comes down with 2.5 minutes left. Should be 2 laps to go. And they're all starting to spread themselves out a wee bit now. 3.5 seconds back to Gabbity's. Another couple of seconds back to Dalrymple, and another second a bit back to Latu. Doing a good job in the South Canterbury Tyre Centre. Cooper Tyres holding Commodore there, Braden Carroll. Puts a couple of wheels out in the grass, but keeps the foot up it, and into Euromark. Yep, and he goes. 4 second gap back to Gabbity's and the Kmart Commodore. Starting to throw it round a wee bit now. Braden Carroll, pretty safe. Going to come round and get the last lap board this time for Braden Carroll. Still, he doesn't really want to have a half spin at all, because Gabbity's only the 4 seconds. He'll soon get on the back of him. Just see a bit of oversteer out of the Parks S's. Come down this time, Braden Carroll, and get the last lap board. 1 to go. 4 second lead over Blair Gabbity's. Dylan Dalrymple's a long way back. Here in 3rd place. The old saying, to get first you must finish. Let's go on board with Braden Carroll. Up through the ECU link corner here. Couple of wheels out in the grass. Up to the 100 metre board. Down to 2nd gear. Down to 1st gear. Steer in. And a bit of oversteer on the way out, as you'll see on the steering wheel there. Up to 2nd and get back up to 3rd. And back to 2nd again. Just try and stay off the inside there if you can. You see he's being quite patient through there. Bit of oversteer there, coming up to the carousel. On board with him. 2nd gear, up to 3rd gear. Get back down to 2nd again, take a lot of the inside curve through here. Take a bit of the inside there as well. And don't want to hit those tyres there. You see he's getting pretty close. Comes up to the last corner. The CMG motorcycle corner is what they call it. And he's going to come down and get the checkered flag. Nice big slide going on. Braden Carroll's going to take race win number 4 for the evening. A clean sweep for him in the South Canterbury Tyre Centre. Cooper Tyres holding Commodore. And gets the job done nicely. Gabbity's going to come through for 2nd. Dalrymple comes through for 3rd. Latu there, not too far back and 4th. And Ray Cotton, not a bad effort from him either, will come through in 5th place, only 8 seconds further back. So great stuff from the guys tonight for round 7. Braden Carroll 4 from 4, pretty good night for you, mate. Pretty ecstatic.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. Can't go wrong. Got the fastest lap of the night as well, so pretty happy.
31.3 I think might have been, or 31.2, or 31. Yeah, so anyhow, but good stuff. As we look at the points there on the screen, Braden Carroll 2, 1,710 points. Blair Gabbardy's 2,260. Then it's Dalrymple, Paul Artu, Ray Cotton's in the mix. Now you see. Then it's Bruce Little, Mitch Hamilton, and myself, and then Alex King. A few of the guys not showing up, but 3 rounds left to go, and be plenty of sims next week for all you guys to come down and support HOSS putting this competition on. So be good to see a full field of cars. I'm Paul Lancaster. We will catch you again next week for round 8 for a mystery track down here at HOSS. So we'll see you then. Congratulations to Braden Carroll, and see you next week.